So we are back with another episode of upcoming mods for Fallout 4. I'm not going to explain it, you guys know what it is. We're starting things off with the Glock 14. This is going to be part of Wars. I've explained to you what Wars is a few times now, so if you don't know already, well then go watch some of my older videos or pay attention more closely, kids. This is going to be another update to the Glock. This is going to be replacing the 10mm pistol in vanilla Fallout 4. What this latest batch of images is going to do is basically show us some of the latest refinements to the slide, particularly in the Glock. As you can see, it definitely looks pretty good. The gun has always looked quite high quality. All the guns in this mod pack are definitely looking quite high quality. And again, this is going to be the Glock 14 and also the 15 in the second picture, but in addition, there'll be the Glock 17 and 18C also included with this mod, just through different modifications to this single base gun. Another weapon they did have to show us was the China Lake. This is actually going to be the China Lake from the China Lake and Hollow Rifle mod. That's something the guys at Wars have been doing, which I really like to see, honestly. That is asking other mod authors to use their assets, obviously, so that's with permission. They're not stealing them or anything, and then making their own modifications to them. A lot of them are relatively minor. Overall, the China Lake still looks like the China Lake we saw once before, but rather than them recreating a ton of weapons that already exist, this is kind of going to be taking a large amount of the work, the texture, and most of the modeling, while making minor tweaks to it themselves. That's one thing Wars is doing really well. Fallout 4 didn't really have a ton of launchers in the vanilla game. The mod itself right now is going to add in the M79, which I have shown you in the past, the M203, which I've also shown you in the past, and finally now the China Lake. Maybe they'll add more in the future, but it really seems like that is going to be a pretty good selection and flesh out the game a little bit more. And honestly, this mod just coming together awesomely. I'm extremely excited for it. It seems like they've been doing a lot of progress on it as of late, so hopefully we're getting closer and closer to a release date. So we have the Colt Rangermaster. This is going to be by Fallout MG. This is basically someone who makes concept art for weapons that a lot of the time get recreated into fully fledged new weapons for Fallout 4. This has happened a couple times in the past. I believe we did a lot of the stuff the Rizzler is working on, like the Gyro Jet. But basically what we see right now again is the Colt Rangermaster. This was simply the hunting rifle in some of the earlier Fallouts, I believe Fallout 1 and 2 and Tactics. I might be wrong about Tactics. And put really simply, he has a breakdown here. It's going to be the SR-25's receiver, an FG-42 stock, and a custom assault rifle grip. And towards the other end, you do have the G3 barrel and handguard there. As you could probably guess, this is meant to be more of a longer range weapon, a semi-automatic hunting rifle, if you will. I think it looks really NCR. I think it'd be a great addition back into Fallout 4. Then we actually have a few grenades. This is pretty cool. These are going to be some of those old school World War II era grenades. There are two different variants here. It's not clear if they're just going to be two standalone grenades or maybe a modification to one of the grenades. I imagine two standalone grenades because you can't really modify grenades in Fallout 4 or any of the other mods, and it really wouldn't make a ton of sense because that would be tedious as hell. But all around, it's looking really cool. I wanted to cover these because we don't have a ton of grenades. I know the Shiny Hacksaurus was potentially working on some grenade animations, but otherwise, it's a pretty fundamental part of the game that has been largely untouched except by that one big grenade overhaul. But even that, a lot of the grenades aren't totally custom, with things looking as distinct and different as these two. So we have the Miller gear. The mod author says this is actually going to be one of the things from the Metro series. I don't particularly remember it, but it definitely looks like something that would fit into it. I thought this mod looked pretty cool because it seems like what actual post-apocalyptic carrying would be like. Like, yeah, obviously there'd be backpacks and things like that, but you'd probably have things strapped on all over your body because you basically have to carry everything with you. It seems a lot more realistic than just having one backpack or no backpack at all, like you do see with a lot of the other mods in Fallout 4. So again, for that reason, I thought it was pretty cool. You could also see 4 of the different undersuit armors there. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look in between each of the images, you could see there is a different armor under the backpack or other things like bandoliers. All around, though, pretty interesting. I like this different take. It's definitely going to stand out from the other backpack and carry-on mods out there, and I really like the more realistic vibe it does give. So we have the M6G Magnum. This, of course, being the classic Magnum that did appear in some of the earlier Halo games. It was then replaced by a worse Magnum, but this one is the one we all know and love. This is actually going to be part of a larger mod, including this and the traditional Halo assault rifle, that being the M85, the one you had in Halo 3. And yeah, in addition, it's actually going to have a customization system. There's going to be a lot of different attachments to recreate this or modify it into some of the guns you have seen in other Halos. So you could have the one from Reach, from Custom Edition, from 3, 4, 5, as well as a SOCOM modification, which is the one we saw in Halo 3 ODST. If you can't, I'm a huge fan of Halo. It's some of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, it's looking really promising. I really like the look of this. It's something that would work really well with that other Sierra 117 mod, adding in Spartan suits into the game. And maybe not for everyone, but if you're a huge fan of Halo or you just like the look of this pistol, you'll probably really enjoy this, as well as some of the other mods coming along with it. So we have another update to the LAER, or the LAER. This, of course, being the weapon that did appear in one of the older Fallout New Vegas DLCs, I believe it was Old World Blues, and it's looking really freaking good. Again, this is going to be brought into Fallout 4 by the Rizzler. Here we're really getting a look at some of the different weapon modifications that will be available, including some of the see-through scopes. That thing on the front there that kind of looks like two prongs with static is actually going to be an electric bayonet. I really love the look of that. I just think it looks functional, like a little taser on the end of your gun. And honestly, it's just coming together beautifully. This looks like such a unique and distinctive primitive weapon. Obviously, many of us are familiar with it because we have experienced it in the past, but at the same time, we don't have just cool or unique looking weapons in Fallout 4 like this one, and definitely not in the modding scene. Well, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this one. Hopefully you guys found this video fun or informative, whatever. I actually think I'm gonna take a break from upcoming mods for a little while. I feel like it's getting a little bit redundant or repetitive, so maybe, unless there's some really good mods coming out, you won't see an episode of this for a few weeks now. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments down below, out of the things I did show you, which is your favorite, and well, with that, I hope to see you all next time, whenever it may be.